Hey, welcome to Empower Network TV.
Hi, Ames.
I'm excited you're here because we're going to be talking about finishing strong, and that's something that is near and dear to my heart. I don't want to waste my life. So, Sherry, what do you got to tell us today about finishing strong?
Yeah, well, most women in the second half of their life, they feel like, getting older means they just have to slow down. They start having achy pains and just not feeling like they used to when they were young. But they don't have to feel that way. It's sort of like social conditioning. And I like to help them realize that they can have zest and vitality to the end of their life.
Well, you certainly you look like you got some zest and vitality in your eyes. I can see it in your eyes. So, what's going on in your life? Can you tell us a bit about your life and what you do and what that looks like on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. Well, it kind of all started back when I was 57. I had to go through a cancer journey and I came out on the other side, fortunately. But I realized that I was exhausted. I was trying to work and have a family and do all those things. And I just didn't have any energy left. I was just exhausted. And I thought, there's got to be a way to deal with this, to overcome this. And so I started doing lots of reading and listening to things and, research, because I'm a nurse by profession. So I did all that stuff and I found a lot of ways to help really get more cellular energy to drive me to be able to do what I wanted to do. And now 15 years later, I'm very energetic. I get things done. I have a great life and it's not that hard, is what I found.
Hang on, you're 72?
I am.
My gosh, I did not think you're so good. I think it's funny when you said, yeah, back when I was, 57, back in the day.
Yeah, that's how it
That's
feels.
amazing. Well, that's great. So how do we bottle this and sprinkle it all over the world then? What's your solution?
So, a big part of what I do is I teach people how to use energy. I am very into the quantum physics world and energy in particular, and how we make our own cellular energy.
Tell
And
me more. Tell me more, please.
well, it's really simple. It's really simple. It's about, it's the things we all know. It's about the quality of the sleep we get. It's about the quality of the food we get and the nutrition of the food we get. It's about the clean water. It's about getting some movement in our life. And it's about having a community, some social connection. It's really just things we already know, but a lot of us just don't put into practice.
And here you are, you're putting it into practice. So you're leading the charge for women in the second half of their life for a glorious comeback and finishing strong.
Yes,
What does it look like? Are you like you're coaching or what are you doing?
I do. I am a coach, and I am an energy practitioner as well. And actually, I was an energy practitioner back in the 80s, long time ago. And that's sort of where I started because I knew that. And then I've just really gotten into, as the quantum physics started coming to the surface, I just did a lot more research into it. And now I sort of combine what I know about quantum work and energy work into some basic exercises and techniques that
You,
anybody can do. Honestly, anybody can do.
Joe Dispenza, are you following?
I follow a lot of people, but yes, he's one of them. Yeah.
How would you reduce that all that quantum stuff down to like a grade 5 level in 3 or 4 sentences? How do you make it really simple?
It's really hard to make this simple, but to me, it boils down to energy in versus energy out. Most people are draining their energy on a daily basis and not replacing it for themselves. And what you have to learn is to have more energy in than out. That's my simple equation. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. So it's like, yeah, you have to monitor your tank. So
Yes.
how do you become aware of your tank?
Well, awareness is the key. We have to start paying attention to how we feel when we're doing things and we start to feel like we're just drained, right? We just don't want to do, we don't want to do it. We feel yucky. That's something we're wasting energy on. And we have to stop and think, do I really need to be doing this? Do we? Because a lot of things we put our energy into are not necessary to have a good, vital life. They're just not.
You know, like I'm just learning that stuff more recently going on. Because it's easy to stay really busy, but I think sometimes my busyness has not been productive busyness.
Productive. Yes.
Okay, so how do you keep yourself on productive things that are spinning your energy up?
So I start with a morning ritual to get my energy going, right? Because I got to have some fuel to get through the day, right? So I do that I meditate. I usually do something to challenge my brain, some kind of puzzle or Wordle or something like that, something that just gets the cells going in the brain. I try and do a little bit of movement, and I don't usually eat first thing in the morning. I wait a little while before I actually put food. I just drink. I have 1 cup of coffee a day. It's my one little sin. And and I drink water, and I just sort of start my day in a very positive framework. And then I start to feel like I have the energy to do whatever I have to do that day. And I don't waste my time on things like I don't get all riled up about what's on the news, because that's a waste of my energy. I hardly watch the news at all, quite frankly. I don't complain. I think that's a waste of my energy. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. It's just, yeah, I don't sit on the couch and stare.
When did you learn this? Like, what did you go through to learn this? Did you always know to do these things, or did you fall down, or what was the story there?
Well, when I had cancer, I was pretty debilitated afterwards. The treatment was pretty rough. So that's where I just sort of I was physically depleted, mentally depleted, emotionally depleted. And I just felt like I could either sit on my sofa and feel sorry for myself, or I could get up and do something about it. So I got up and did something about it.
I love it. The joy is all over your face. So as a teenager, were you running around amok and just having fun as a teenager? What was it like back then?
Oh, so I've always been a little bit on the serious side, honestly. And I got involved in nursing as in high school. I worked as a candy striper. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Volunteer. Yeah. Yeah. Went to nursing school the first time, went right to work, just like I was super involved in my career for many years. Got married, kept kids, the whole 9 yards, kept working. I continue to work. I still work, actually. So, I was pretty serious about that part of my life. But I did, after the little cancer journey, I did realize that that's not all there is to life.
Yeah, that wake up call, the
The
proverbial
wake-up call, the famous wake-up call.
Yeah. Why
And
do we
so,
need those wake up calls? Why do we need those?
just so we don't waste our life.
Why can't we just know it? Why do we have to have a wake up?
That's a good question. I wish we did. Well, I think we are born knowing it, but we get it socialized out of us.
Ooh, can you tell me more about that? Do you think we're born knowing it? Please tell me
Yes.
more.
I think kids know that. I think kids are curious. They come prepared to learn new things and explore, but then adults put rails around them. They put rules around them. They tell them they have to get good grades, go to school, get a job, make good money, all those wonderful things. And sometimes a really creative person, that's not doing them any good.
What would have done a really creative person good, hypothetically speaking?
So letting them be curious about different things and try different things. I mean, I know we don't want kids coloring on the wall, but hey, if they're artistic and that's how we find out they're artistic, maybe that's okay. You know, maybe they're storytellers and we don't let them tell us stories because it's, they think that's silly or that's not going to get you a job. So, yeah. So I think we, as parents, just need to be a little more open with their kids and let them be curious. Curious is my favorite word, actually,
Your favorite word, why?
because I think that's what gets us going and moves us forward.
Curiosity. So do you give yourself full permission to be curious in
I
all
do.
yeah, in
I
everything?
do. Yeah, I do.
So you're asking yourself questions now that you used to not ask yourself.
Definitely. Definitely.
Okay, so like what's a question you're asking that you would have never asked yourself before?
Boy, let's see. Is it really necessary for me to exercise 3 times a week?
Okay.
Because, at my age, who really wants to, right?
Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
you've already made it to 72. I don't know. Do you need to? Or
yes,
you
because
don't?
I want to make it to 100.
Okay, so how much do you think exercise plays a part in that?
Physiologically, a lot, because I have to keep my bones strong. If you break a hip, not good. Not
Okay.
good.
Okay.
It's going to slow you down a lot.
So the women you're working with, are they over 40? Are they over 50?
I would say in general, they're over 50. I have a few 40-year-olds, but in general, they're over 50.
And when they come in there being coached by you, um, what are some epiphanies they're having in their first month or two?
For some of them, they'll have a lot of anxiety around things that when you sort of drill down into them, they're not helping. It's not anything that's that important, honestly. So a lot of it is just helping them to dissect what's going on in their life and what's underneath all that anxiety that they're feeling. And I like to call myself a compassionate listener because I think most people have their own answers. It's just nobody ever helps them find them. Nobody listens.
Well, isn't like coaching kind of supposed to be about helping people go back into the mirror? Isn't that a big part of it?
Um, I think coaching is about helping people go to find their authentic self again and listen to what that person has to say, not what the world says.
That's not always easy. I'm going through
No,
that myself. And
it's
because you
not
got
easy.
these things that society or church or your family, someone told you. And how do you even begin to identify the origin of the narrative?
Questioning, having somebody ask you questions,
It comes
self-reflection.
back to curiosity. Yeah, it comes back.
It does. Told you it was my favorite word.
Okay, so 2024, what are you gonna be doing with 2024?
Well, I'm hoping to do some workshops so I can expand what I offer individually to people. I used to teach when I was a nurse, and I enjoyed that. And so I'm thinking I might try that this year. That's a little new adventure I might try. And I might try some online group stuff as well. Right now, most of my clientele is in person.
Well, I'm cheering for you because you're being curious and exploring things when a lot of people have already given up. So you are a rock star.
You got to go forward. Never look back. Just go forward.
Does that always work in your mind? Does that always work? Always look forward, never go back. Is there ever a time you should go back?
I sure don't want to go back, honestly. What's back there was not much fun. So I don't really want to go back. I think I have to at least move a few steps forward all the time.
Love it. I love it.
Something new.
Something new. Well, I love what your energy and what you're about and what you're embodying. It's so playful and fun. I hope you're not nervous. I hope you're not too nervous.
No, I'm good now.
Okay, good.
Just that getting started thing, you know.
I wanted to ask you, did you have any other side habits like hobbies you do besides?
Okay, so I love to travel. That's something I never did before. I had my cancer. I never traveled very much. And now I've been all kinds of places. And I love it. I love learning new cultures, new food, you know, just I love it. I like to cook. I like cooking healthy food from scratch. Gosh, there's a lot of things I like. I've played around with aromatherapy. I like that. Yeah. And this year I'm taking a drawing class. See if I can unleash a little bit of creativity.
Fun. I love it. What's your favorite smell and scent in aromatherapy?
Ooh,
Or cologne?
vetiver. Vetiver.
Ooh, that goes really well in men's colognes.
It's
Vetiver.
lovely. It's a lovely aroma.
Yeah.
Yeah, if men would wear that, I think women would like it. But let me put it that way.
It's vetiver is only in like, I don't know, it's like 5 or 10% of men's colognes, but the one it's in, vetiver, it really stands out.
It's lovely. It's a potent aroma.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Awesome. Well, any last thoughts, Cherry, about life? This word called curiosity that we're playing with?
Yeah, I think just don't age gracefully.
Don't age gracefully.
No, age with passion and curiosity and keep moving forward. Look at the horizon.
I love that. That's what we should have called, call the interview, Don't Age Gracefully. I love that. I love that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
well, Jerry, thanks for being here. This was so much fun.
Thank you.
I
It was
could
fun
just
being with you.
fun being with you too. Fun being with you too. Well, if you've been watching Empower Network TV, now Cherry, is it Pfau? How do I say your last name?
Pfau.
Pfau. Okay, Cherry Pfau.
Mhm.
Please reach out to her. She'd love to connect with you if this resonates with you, and especially if you are a middle-aged woman
Yeah.
who wants to know how to not age gracefully and go out with a bang. Cherry is your girl.
Yes, she is. Thank you.
All right, we'll end the broadcast here.